Hi, I'm Tom Craven, and I think you are wrong about Ed Sheeran, Lewis Capaldi, and Billie Eilish. Let's get into the video. I hear a lot of people slating Ed Sheeran, Billie Eilish, and Lewis Capaldi specifically, and there's a few others who are doing very well for themselves actually as a career in music. But some people really don't like them. A lot of people seem to think that Ed Sheeran isn't actually that talented and shouldn't be as famous as he is. But I think they're completely wrong. Like, it's not an accident that he's that famous and actually doing it very well. The fact that actually it's not through any kind of gimmick of a TV show or anything else like that that he's actually got that famous. He's done it by just playing a lot of gigs and recording a lot of music and writing a lot of music and releasing a lot of music, and some of it is stuck. I think this actually probably comes down to people's own insecurities and how maybe they're not doing as well as they would like in whatever aspect of their life. They want to try and justify how it's unfair that someone else has done so well. Like the fact that Billie Eilish is now 18 and is doing quite well. And again, this comes down to hard work and actually just churning it out. And then you go to Lewis Capaldi. Like, anytime someone tries to mock him in any way, like Liam Gallagher or whoever else, he just takes it on the chin and goes along with the joke. It's not an accident that actually he's doing very well musically. Like, I think it's down to one, actually alright music. Two, having music that actually, let's be honest, everyone loves a sad song. Like, everyone goes through breakups and whatever else, so they're always going to be on demand and everyone's going to want them at some point. And three, he's just funny. Like, you might not find him funny and you might not like his music, and that is fine, but as long as he has an audience big enough that do find him funny, entertaining, and actually like his music, it doesn't really matter. Like, you don't get to decide if he is any good. That is just your opinion. Like, it's my opinion that I think they're actually good. What's actually important is they're able to do something they love. No one wants to have that conversation because they know really that actually that person can't be all that bad. They haven't got there by accident. They haven't fallen into that. They haven't gone on a TV show and been pushed into that limelight. They're just doing something they love, and they're doing it continuously every single day. Ed Sheeran talks about how writing songs can be like a tap, that when you first turn it on, just crap is coming through, and eventually it starts to run clean and you start to get really good results and get really good music out of it. And that's a case of that people say that 10,000 hours, that you should go out there and do 10,000 hours worth of work to be able to then make it as someone who is competent in that. Again, Billie Eilish, she's written songs with her brother for years. She says 6 years old in a carpool karaoke video. She's probably written a lot of songs that we will never hear, either because she's never going to release them or because they were released and they weren't very good. We just happen to hear the good ones. Same with Lewis Capaldi. He's probably got hundreds of songs that he's written, but they're just meh. And actually the ones that he's been able to put out there are really good. Like everyone else's social media. We only put the best out there, don't we? It's kind of like social media, the fact that we only really put the best of the best on there. And it's quite interesting that people want to say that these musicians and many others aren't very good. That's your opinion. It doesn't matter. It's an art. Just like, really, my opinion on whether anyone is a good photographer doesn't actually matter. It doesn't. As long as they've got an audience. As long as enough people are actually wanting to see their work, it doesn't really matter what my opinion is. Now, there's artists that I do not like, but it doesn't matter. I am not their target audience then. And that is fine. You're going to have people who don't actually like what you create. I think that's part of the struggle why I've not really created much for the last 9 years in comparison to what I feel I should have done, because I was always going, oh, but what happens if so-and-so doesn't like this? what happens if I put this out and it doesn't do quite as well as I thought? It doesn't actually matter. Like, it doesn't. There's always going to be people who don't like it, and there's always going to be people who do. As long as however you're expressing yourself in your art doesn't negatively affect anyone else, so what? It's fine. So the point of this video really is to just encourage you to go and support any artist that you really like. Whether that's a musician, photographer, painter, whatever it is, just go and encourage them. And anyone you don't like, just keep the negativity to yourself. Oh, just before the video ends, I just want to point out, yes, I like all three artists that I've mentioned here, but there are artists I do not like, and they are not going to be mentioned in this video, because what would be the point? Bye.